You ready? Yeah. We are on our way to the conference and we are so excited. I cannot wait. So I came back over to meet Jill. I already made a stop over here earlier, but I came back to get it on camera. It was so nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. It was like the highlight of my trip seeing you.
That's so sweet. Jill shared my channel when it only had like, I don't know, less than 500, like 200 subscribers. I don't know, but so a lot of you guys came over from her channel and it was so great. I remember telling Takrisha, like, Jill from Whispering Willow shared my video. Like, and I was so excited. So it was so nice to meet you in person.
I know. I was telling her too, Nathan's gonna fangirl over you tomorrow. Nathan is like, every time asking me, did you watch your video? I'm like, honey, no. Recap me, like, tell me what's going on.
That's
so
awesome.
He keeps up to date with what you're doing all the time.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's so encouraging. You guys are both so encouraging, and I've had nothing but positive experiences with all of you guys homesteaders. And it's so
it takes all of us, right? Like, you guys do what you do so well, and you bring light to what you're doing, and I think that's just something that needs to kind of light like wildfire, right? And so it's not a competition, it's like, how many people can we get to join this and realize we can have a huge impact, and each of us can do it in such a different way. So I love what you guys are doing. I'm super thankful that you're in the scene and homesteading and teaching people.
Yes, awesome. That's so sweet. I'm so grateful, and it's so nice to meet you.
Yes, you too. Seriously, like, one of the highlights of my trip was meeting you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It's so cute. Oh, I did see that one. I love his floppy ears like a dog.
It is day 2 of the conference and we're on our way in. We're so excited to see what today holds. What do you think we're gonna?
Oh my goodness, so today I'm really looking forward to, it's hard because we have to narrow it down, like who we're gonna watch and who we're gonna like take the information from, because they have so many good people, so many good speakers speaking all at the same time. So that is such a challenge. That's the hard part.
Yeah, to pick one.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. And we cannot take video during the presenters, but I'm sure we'll recap after. And with all the information.
Go in here or no?
Like, really? He's saying, like, feed me more. It's so friendly. I want a pig.
Look at those teeth.
With the fluffy head. Yes, the Polish ones.
blackhead disease, if they get the blackhead disease, which ours did, we had the 2 toms, the 1 tom got blackhead, the other didn't. Very interesting because it's obviously in our soil. We put cayenne pepper on their feed, and then we also gave them oregano oil in their water, just oregano essential oil, just like a few drops for the gallon or the whatever quart it is, water container, like the you get from Travis. And then that was all we did, and he recovered. Yes, and now we just occasionally give them cayenne pepper on their feed. We don't really feed them a whole lot.
It's preventative. Yeah.
We know we have blackhead disease. And with the baby turkeys we just got, we're putting oregano oil in their water so that they're getting I guess oregano oil is a natural.
Right, it's a like antifungal, antibacterial thing.
Yeah.
What do they lay?
They lay pretty much the spring and summer, maybe into the fall too.
And do you let all your eggs hatch?
I tried to.
Okay.
So our hen went broody. This is our first year having turkeys in the spring and summer. So she went broody right away. She laid like 20 eggs. I took a few, put them under a broody chicken. She hatched those, 4 or 5 hatched. The broody hen, turkey hen, she didn't hatch any because the male turkey kept going to visit her. He doesn't have another girlfriend. So he was very lonely. And so he went to see her, and then he would knock the eggs out on So she was very sad. But now she's over it. She hasn't started laying again yet. So the broodiness stopped the laying. They're supposed to lay about 180 eggs.
Okay.
Depending. So it's not as much as chickens.
Right, because so they're not laying every day.
Nope, not like chickens. Especially for the winter. They don't lay all day.
Oh, okay. Wow.
So it's less eggs. I guess that's a downfall of turkeys. And you don't get them over the winter. Whereas some chickens, you can get some over the winter.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your favorite meat? Okay. Wait, this is important.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we did 3 meat birds. The first bird that we did was the American breast, and that was supposed to be the best tasting.
Right, I heard that.
Tasting chicken, hands down. And we did the Red Rangers because we were looking for something more sustainable. We don't have to keep on relying on the hatcheries and whatnot. And we were doing the Cornish Cross because everybody's like, oh, the Cornish Cross is the best hands down for money that you could get. And I was like, all right, let's see. And so we're doing a taste test, and we butchered the American breast. That was good. The Red Rangers were, I don't know if we just let them go a little bit longer, but the meat was tough. We didn't try it 3 different ways. We tried fried, stew, pressure cook, and everything. We're like, hey, I'm just done trying this. We're just going to sell this for like $2 a pound and just say it's stewed chicken. And is it next weekend or the weekend after, we're going to be processing our Cornish crosses. And that's where we're going to probably, the weekend of the 4th of July, invite some of our viewers and our followers and family, friends and stuff to come and do a blind taste test and see which one they like. So that way people that's getting into meat chickens can decide which one is the best for the flavor, bang for your buck, and quick turnaround and stuff like that.
So good. Can you say your name and channel for
my phone window?
That was my problem yesterday too. My name is Sydney, my wife is Tori. We are the Nakid Gardeners on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, TikTok. Well, we had to add 3 eyes on TikTok because it was too controversial. And we're out in Northeast Texas, 7-8A, 8B, depending on what year you're talking about.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. What'd you find out about the American breast?
So we did the 2 weeks of corn fermented in regular milk, and since we don't have any dairy cows or dairy goats, we had to go buy the milk. But we found out we had an extra rooster that was a hen, but he started crowing, and I was like, we only trying to keep 2. We already had enough roosters, so we just processed him without the corn, fermented corn. So we're gonna try him out when we get back, just to see if the flavor was even worth the effort of the time of doing the whole 2 weeks of fermenting.
That's so good. Thank you. Okay, go.
All right, so ready?
Yes.
Hang on. No, we're not. I got blue eyes.
Okay, he's got to work it. Okay, go.
We don't see color.
So I got my man Chip here from Hidden Oaks Homestead, and he's going to tell you about his little setup that they're going to be doing in October.
Yeah, so in October, 26th, 27th. Nope, 26th.
Come on in here.
Tell him what. Come on.
27th, 28th, Friday, Saturday, end of October.
We're going to have a homestead meetup for the South
Okay, and where's that going to be at?
in Milton, Florida, in the Panhandle.
What speakers are you going to have?
We're going to have Cottageville. We're going to have Daniel Arms.
Yay!
We're gonna have David the Good.
Yeah. We're gonna have the Stivers. The Stivers are coming. We got a bunch of local YouTubers that are coming, and not just YouTubers, but vendors and like a lot of local farm community.
Okay.
Where we're gonna have pig workshops, chicken workshops, and like hands-on stuff. So we're really looking forward to it.
Nice.
They didn't ask me to be a speaker yet.
They didn't ask you to be a speaker? Okay.
So we're not that close.
Okay.
We go way back.
Require?
So it requires an extra 2 steps. You're going to have to, you can either pluck them, and then after you pluck them, you're not going to get all the you're not going to get all the feathers off because they have that extra layer of dow or something like that. So you got to get some wax, some hot wax, dip them in some wax, put them in some cold water, and then rip the wax off, and it will take all the feathers off.
And you did this?
So say your name.
Eileen Jewell.
Okay, and where are you homesteading at?
I'm in Anderson, South Carolina.
Nice, nice. And so how did you hear about this event?
Just different homesteaders that I follow. A lot of them out of Nashville, North Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina, and kind of surrounding areas.
Okay, and so you're trying to meet other South Carolina homesteaders?
Yes.
Okay, okay. And so how could they find you?
They're just going to have to come to my house.
So you don't have any YouTube or Instagram?
No, I'm going to work on getting that set up so that, it's kind of seeming like I'm going to have to connect with y'all, but I sure do look forward to meeting every one of you and can't wait to get something together.
Yeah, so when you get your channel or anything set up, find me and then message me, and then I'll connect you with other homesteaders in South Carolina.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm so glad you said hi.
Yeah.
Thank you.
For everybody, I'm not like a certified homeschool curriculum creator, but like we've got our more simple drawings in here for our younger kids, but then we have our more complex drawings.
All of this is just on your website. Okay, because I have your website.
Yeah, it's all on there.
This is really cool. I didn't know that you had a course for homesteading. So that's good as we go towards next year, and I'm just starting like trying to figure out what curriculum we're going to go for next year. Like something like this is just so beneficial, and since we do have a garden, it's like learning how to find the things that work for our garden in the time that in school is like.
We want to get as many kids' hands in the dirt as possible.
Yes. Yeah. And then when they learn the why behind it, it just helps them out so much.
It does, and that's the goal. Is like we want to teach people the what, but also the why.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Can I take a picture with you?
For sure. Microbes in the form of sugar. About 2 tablespoons will do. Why is it so important to feed the microbes? Well, if you feed them, they make more babies, and so then you get more microbes in your final product. That's a good question. So I recommend using organic, unsulfured molasses. We get ours from Azure Standard, AZURE. You can get unsulfured molasses, the kind that comes with a yellow label from your supermarket. That works pretty good. The sulfur is in there for basically the same reasons that chlorine is in water, and so we're trying to build life. So we don't want sulfur, we don't want chlorine. We're trying to build life. And the cool thing about worm tea is there's so many different recipes. This is just one very generic recipe, but if you wanted to make a specific one, I really like the book Teaming with Microbes. That author does a fantastic job outlining how you can make something for your specific soil. So if you're looking to heal something in your soil specifically, you can get it tested by your local extension office, and then look for different tea recipes that are going to help your soil and your microbiome in your soil. So we've got our sugar in there. I'm just going to give it a good stir. When you do molasses, you want to make sure you get it all in there and it doesn't, just sink to the bottom. We've got our air pump. This is just an aquarium pump. I've gone ahead and added this as well because sometimes we brew big batches of worm tea, and so you can add 1/4-inch tubing here, but we're just doing one today. Got our 1/4-inch tubing connected to our tea bubbler. We're going to go ahead and add this now. And the important thing about the tea bags is once they're all set up, you've dumped them in there, you want to make sure you coat every part of the castings with water. And if you want to come in close, I'll show you what's about to happen. So what we're doing is we're releasing a lot of humic and fulvic acids the minute that these start to hit the water. See how it's getting brown? Those are actually fulvic and humic acids coming right out of the castings. And worm castings have the highest concentrations of those two very important mineral compounds. So as we're doing this, we're releasing that into the water, and that's going to make the microbes really, really happy. Something to remember, like, you know, a cattle farmer will say, well, I don't raise cows, I raise grass, I grow grass. As a worm farmer, I say I don't raise worms, I steward microbes. So it's really not so much about the worms, it is, but it's also really about the microbes. So you can see our water's completely changed colors. And it's going to be about that dark when it's done.
So now, it happens pretty quickly. That was pretty quick.
It does release pretty quickly. And so right now, this would be considered a worm extract, a tea extract, I should say. So you could use this. If you just didn't have air, you didn't have sugar, you could leave this in a bucket of chlorine-free water overnight, and you would have something that's pretty good. But we like to teach people the very best, which I believe is worm tea. And so we dunk it, we add our sugar, we add our water. Now it's just time to tie these off, and remember, we're not gonna have them touching the bottom of the bin. So, gingerly, would you hold this in place for me? Would you mind holding that? Right there, yeah.
Can I hold that one for you?
Sure, yeah, let's see it. Can we get it into the bottom of it? Like that. Yeah, it's kind of good to know. You just want to have them completely submerged but not touching the bottom, if that makes sense. So we'll go like this. Kind of start our first loop there. Okay. You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie these together and I'm going to use string. So we'll tie these together. It can be kind of hard to do it like that, so I'm going to just use string and hang them in there. Thank you.
Yeah, that looks a lot easier.
Yeah, that's a lot easier. So there you go. Now, how long should you brew a tea? That's a very good question, and a question we get a lot. It depends on the temperature. So ideally, I'm going to keep this in a shady spot in a nice warm location, but not too hot. If we're here in Tennessee in the middle of summer, I want to keep it somewhere around 70 degrees for about 24 hours. That's ideal. I did a test batch of this at our house. I left it for 36 hours and it started to get scum on the top. That's how you know you may have left it go a little too far. You know that this is aerobic because it smells good. Especially if you're using molasses, it smells really, really good. Molasses, as a lot of you probably know, is rich in nutrients as well. It's not just sugar like we've done today. So I prefer molasses, like I said, but anyway, you're gonna let this go for about 24 hours depending on temperature. If it's warmer, keep it to 24 hours. If it's cooler, keep it maybe around 36, 48, and then you're gonna have worm tea. This will make us 5 gallons of worm tea concentrate, which you can dilute by 10. We've got 50 gallons of sprayable fertilizer. It's what saved our lemon tree. It's what I use to feed all my gardens on my property. Love it. Can't recommend it enough. So thanks for watching our demo.
Thank you.
What's the ratio?
You want to keep your composting, specifically when it comes to worms, about 1 part nitrogen to 40 parts carbon.
Oh.
So we'll add about 1 banana peel, but then about, I don't know, 10 cups of leaves.
Oh, so I'm not even adding enough leaves.
No, that is one of the number one problems for beginning worm farmers is their bins are too moist or too dry, but they're also overfeeding their bins. And that's where you get things like fruit flies and different pests.
Yes, I had like gnats, I think.
Gnats. Yeah, so if it's too moist, you'll get things like gnats. If your food's uncovered, you'll get gnats. Those are the biggest things. So when you're trying to heal that, and we show in our course how do you troubleshoot and reverse any damage in your worm farm. I want to equip people with the tools of like, okay, if something goes awry, how do I shift this? So it's all in our course.
Okay, so I need your course. Okay.
Yeah.
So with the worm farm, you're making pretty much your tea, like, so this is what you get from farming worms?
That is pretty much specifically what I raise worms for. Yeah, and I feed my gardens a very diluted ratio, 1 to 10 ratio, almost 1 to 1.
Oh,
Yeah, because we garden in raised beds, and our soil is very sandy, so we're losing a lot of nutrients all the time just because we're above ground, the heat, the loss of absorption, all of that, yeah. But the worm castings, when you add it, so we make a lot of tea, but when we have a big worm casting harvest, about twice a year we'll amend our beds with worm casting. We'll peel back the mulch, we'll mix in some worm castings in the top, and what people don't realize is that worm castings help bind aggregates together so that you bring that porosity back to your soil, so that you have those air pockets, so that all the nutrients can get where they need to go.
I had no idea worm castings are so important to gardening.
Huge, yeah. So people around here have been telling me, oh yeah, we're looking at healing our pastures, and the minute we see the worms back in the soil, we know that we've done something right. Yeah. Unfortunately, heavy fertilizer use ends up having a lot of salt, a lot of acid, ends up killing the worms. And the populations die, then we have these fallow fields, and we're like, well, what do we do now? And so I'm starting to work with farmers like across the nation, like, okay, how do we heal these lands? We have these people who want to regenerate the earth, and they're going and buying these homesteads, but they're like, our soil is dead. And I'm like, there is a way with worms that you can bring it back quickly. I mean, we saved our lemon tree in 1 year. So, yeah, I can't wait. I'm gonna see 8 weeks ago, I took a brown paper bag, I covered the hole in the bottom, I added our browns, our leaves, about 2 inches of leaves. I added some food scraps, I did our leaves and our compost again. So when you add, I like to tell people to add compost in there because those are microbes.
That's what I was wanting to know.
So the bacteria and the fungi are going in there, they're spraying their enzymes on everything. That turns into a sludge that then creates the food to help more bacterial and enzymatic breakdown. Now the worms come through and they eat that.
So how do the worms get in there?
Well, you add the worms.
Okay, so I'm sorry, because I don't know. So,
so part of the layering system. You get it from that Bob's Worm place? You can get it from just about anything. This is a really easy resource right here. Uncle Jim's.
Oh, get worms.
Uncle Jim, that's what it is.
Yeah, Uncle Bob's. Yeah, I was like,
okay.
That's the guy's name.
But
so you're setting it up like that and then putting the worms in to start.
Right. So in our quick start guide, like in course, we show people the right way to layer, the ratios, everything. And so they're going in there, they're spraying their enzymes, the worms are coming down and eating the microbes. When it goes to their gizzards, it gets even more activated. Okay.
So how long from the time you started?
So we started 8 weeks ago, and I had 200 pounds of compost.
What in the world? What in the world?
So do you just dig it out with the worms? No turning?
No turning. How long? 8 weeks. My daughter's going. 8 weeks, I made 200 pounds of compost. Yeah.
What do you do with the worms after you do you put them back?
I wish I had, if this was in my homestead, I would have all my gear, but basically we make our own sieves out of 1/4 inch mesh and 1x2s. And so 1/4 inch mesh will sift out the worms, 1/8 inch mesh will sift out the cocoons. So you just literally dump it all out, shake it, save the worms, put it back in your worm jar. That's it. That's so good. Yeah, and it makes it nice and fluffy.
And your worms have doubled at this point or what?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay, because that's what I was wondering, because obviously they're going to have babies.
Yeah. I just want to get a plant.
So we are in line to get our smoothies, but while we're here, I just wanted to do a little recap. We've been having so much fun meeting and mingling with people and just getting to know other channels and so much information that we've gotten, and it's just amazing.
Not only has it been great, like Dom is saying, inside of the tents where, these people are teaching all these things, but just fellowshipping and meeting other homesteaders, other content creators, that has been so rich, to be able to do that and to just hear from them and to just glean from them has been tremendously incredible.
Yes.
Everything. And then when we start cutting them out, but anyway, I watched the down. I watched it grow. So it just really touches my heart. Everything out there was happening. Then when I seen all you all here, thank you, Lord, for giving me more options in my life. And I get
and then I'm gonna also, I think I have
Brenda
Okay.
All right, so I'm Tom Watkins, and this is I'm Ashley Watkins. We're the co-owners of McMurray Hatchery.
Okay. And you guys ship all types of birds, right?
Yeah, so we do ducks, geese, chickens, quail, guineas, peacocks.
Yes.
And we ship to all 50 states.
Nice, nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
You got it. Hey.
Yes. Hey, so I'm just here
Emma.
with Emma. You want to tell them your channel?
Yeah, sure. I'm Emma from Sonnies Place, and I'm a city girl from Missouri. Or not from Missouri. City girl, grew up in Southern California, married a country boy.
Okay.
Now we're building our dream homestead on 11 acres in the middle of Missouri.
And can you spell Sonnies Homestead so that people don't get that wrong?
Well, I pronounce it Sonnies Place. That's the proper. Most people say Sonnies Place.
Okay.
It's S-O-N-N-I-E-S.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'll leave a link to her channel down below. How long have you been YouTubing?
YouTubing. It's been 2 years.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. It was so nice to meet you. Okay. So then, why did you start your YouTube channel?
One of the reasons was, well, I guess there's a few reasons, several reasons. To get out of my comfort zone. I hated being in front of camera and being on there. But I noticed more and more that a lot of the people that were doing this they all looked the same, and I didn't look like them.
Yeah.
And so my goal was to offer people that look like me some representation on YouTube.
Yes.
And in this community, this homesteading community, which I'm sure is partly why you guys do
we
it
get
too.
comments.
Yeah. And so building that part of the community and motivate more people that look like us to do the things that we do, you know, and to give them a voice, not just because I make things. And so the other thing is also giving women the inspiration and motivation and confidence to get out, use some tools, build things themselves,
awesome.
right?
Yeah.
So it's for a lot of reasons, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's so good. Thank you.
Get going here, I think I should say something, and one of it is to thank you for going to the movies all these years. So we've come to play some original music, and we've come to play pretty loud. That's our intention. So we're going to play you some new songs, and for those of you who think, well, every damn thing is going to be new, it's okay. So you ready to go? So we are too.